Hey everyone! I seem to be having a lot of conversations this week or in the last couple of weeks around codependent relationships and what codependent relationships look like, how they kind of come to pass, what has happened in our childhood to make us become codependent adults, and also clearing up some misconceptions around it. So one question that I got, I think it was yesterday, was, well, I thought I was a really independent person. So how did I end up in a codependent relationship? So it is possible to be an independent person and still be in a codependent relationship. I know this because I've been in many, not anymore, thank God. So I had a few really long-term, serious relationships that were all codependent until I met Cam. And when you look at where this all starts, so if you have had a childhood where one or both parents or a parental figure who is caring for you had mental health issues that can include low-grade anxiety, postnatal depression, or more serious things, things like bipolar or schizophrenia, or addiction issues, whether it's gambling, sex, drugs, alcohol, whatever it might be, or you were maybe a parent had serious health issues like cancer and mum or dad was just always unwell, so you always had to moderate how you were being and acting in the world. So if you heard things like, just don't make too much noise because dad's asleep, or don't make too much noise, mum's not feeling well, those kind of things. As a child, we learn to regulate and moderate our behaviour based on how the adults in our lives are feeling. And sometimes this can be really subtle, like we just become watchers because it may not be safe in certain moments to, laugh and play, to make lots of noise at home. So as a child, you kind of learn to try and be on your best behaviour. And if that doesn't go so well, then you might come out with limiting beliefs or thoughts about yourself like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not lovable, I'm not loved by them, I wasn't wanted, I wasn't needed, all these kind of things. And what then happens as an adult is that from that place of essentially low self-esteem and low self-worth, which is what those things create in you, right? Like if you don't feel like you're good enough and you're not worthy, then you over-deliver and you try and prove yourself. It can go multiple different ways. So it could lead to your own issues as an adult in terms of addiction issues or, seeking love in the wrong places, that kind of thing. But a lack of self-worth can also lead you to become a helper type. And this is very much where I ended up, where I was in my 30s when I realised that all my self-worth and self-esteem came from helping other people. That's how I got validated. For ages, I didn't think there was a problem with that, right? But later on, it became very much to my detriment, where I kept over-giving to people, over-delivering to people at times when I really needed that energy for myself. I didn't say no, I didn't set boundaries, I didn't tell people that certain things that they had done or said had hurt me, or that they violated a boundary, because I never really said that there was a boundary there in the first place. So you become like a people pleaser, you become an over-giver, even when it's to your detriment. And so you find that when you're that type of person, the opposite type of person is attracted to you. So I found myself attracting people with broken wings of various degrees, people with mental health issues, people with who were just so completely broke that they lived off me, basically. Many of my partners had lived off me. So that ended me up in a world of financial pain. I was constantly still regulating my emotions when I was coming home from work, thinking, okay, so what am I walking into? I'd have had a great day at work, and then I'd pull up in the car and I'd just sit on the driveway for a moment and think, just kind of gather my thoughts and think, right, what's coming at me tonight? What mood am I going to face with my partner, and how do I need to be to manage that? So that's what codependent relationships look like. And you're constantly trying to help people to feel better. But the only person that can really make someone feel better is themselves, through them doing the actions, through them doing the personal development work. God knows I did years and years and years and years of 20 plus years of healing, coaching, self-development work of all kinds, everything that I could think of, to work on me being a better person. And ultimately what I found in the end was that by increasing my sense of self-love and self-esteem and self-worth, through me meeting my own needs, through me setting boundaries, through me explaining what my needs were to you know, my next partner, Cam, my final partner, Cam, and having him really respect those boundaries and respect my needs and respect the fact that I could even talk about it. But, you know, it was definitely a journey in learning how to actually vocalize what I needed, alongside really figuring out what I needed in the first place, you know, because for a long time I came out of all those relationships a shell of my former self. I didn't know what I liked to find fun to do anymore. I didn't know really who I was in my essence, and that led to a long process of healing, right? So codependent relationships are hard. It's like this addictive drug cycle where you're constantly chasing the dragon. You know, you have these really, really high highs and you have these really, really low lows, and you know, you're trying to maintain those high highs. They don't last very long. And the low lows, you're just trying to pull the other person and yourself out of those constantly. That is not what a healthy relationship is supposed to look like. You know, that's full of drama and toxic energy. And now coming from a space where I've been with Cam for 4 years now, we're engaged, we're massively in love with each other, but I still had to do a lot of work on myself to let his love in, right? Because I was still tied in with this drama cycle of thinking that's how, I don't know, I suppose that's how I felt useful. And Cam doesn't need rescuing. He's totally balanced and stable, you know, and I thought I'd get bored of that, honestly, because I just thought, well, there's nothing for me to do here. How am I needed or wanted, or, you know, and I was very wrong about that stuff. So the first step to healing codependence is really being aware that that's going on for you. And then it's really delving deep into what has created that for you in the past. What was your childhood like? What happened in those years that you don't remember, when you were too young, when you were a newborn or a baby or a toddler? Like, there were loads of stuff, loads of conversations that I had with my mum around, you know, all I remember is growing up in a happy, loving household. And to a massive extent, that's completely true. But there were also things that happened when I was, you know, pre-memory for me, that I totally wasn't aware of. That set up all these abandonment and rejection issues for me. It was all done from a place of love, and I completely understand as an adult why certain things happened. But that doesn't make it mean a different thing when you're a young baby. And so, yeah, so the first step is awareness, really delving deep into where this stuff originates so that you can focus the healing work on that. And then the biggest piece is focusing on increasing your sense of self-love, self-worth, self-esteem, so that you step into a space where you really love yourself so much. You love, trust, honor, and respect yourself so much that you won't let anyone treat you like shit again. And if they do, you're happy to walk away, and you're happy to do that without feeling guilty about it or without having to justify it. You just know yourself, you know what your worth is, you know what your needs are, and you know how to vocalize them. And when you do all those things and someone else doesn't respect that, you're then happy to walk away from that too. There are, of course, times when it's more challenging to do that with family members, for example, but there are always ways that we can protect our energy. If any of this has resonated for you or is ringing a bell and you want to chat more about it, please let me know. I've also got a free relationships playlist and a free Project Self-Worth playlist, which basically I put together for myself to increase my own sense of self-love and self-esteem. So if you are interested in any of that, drop a comment below the video, or drop me a message and let's chat. I'd love to help you through this if you're going through the same thing. The reason that this seems to resonate with a lot of people, because I get so many comments from people saying, I feel like you're writing to me. You know what? You know who I'm writing to? I'm writing to the me that you're at right now. You know, I'm writing to the me that I wish I had all this information back when I was in these really shitty, dark places. I had to do a lot of digging to find a lot of information, and that's how I've basically ended up being a change and trauma coach, is because I've done all these tools, I've done all these strategies to help pull myself away from that kind of life and to truly, honestly living my best life now with the most amazing partner by my side, and partner being the word. You know, he is my partner. We do life together. We learn life together. We have so much fun together. And that's the kind of partnership I always wanted, and I didn't have it for most of my life. So I would love more than anything for everyone to experience that kind of love. And because everyone deserves it, right? You deserve it. You deserve it. And if you keep doing what you're doing and expecting a different result, you are just bashing your head against a brick wall. Decide in this moment right now to change it, change something. If you don't know what to change, reach out to me. Let's have a chat. Let's see what kind of insight I can share on your personal situation, because everyone's going through their own different things. All right, so awesome to chat to you all today. Let me know if this hits for you, and let's book in a chat. Happy Wednesday, guys.